Hello, hello, fans of the franchise Premier League. It is Kevin, Dunk, and True back at it again for our first game of the night, Week 3, Season 3. Can't believe it's been 3 seasons already, baby, between our two top teams in Lunari, which are Flannel Equinox and Divine Ascension, as we see. Yeah, pretty standard lanes according to what we predicted in draft, but yeah, I mean, early game, it seems like pretty chill. Both very strong scaling bot laners. Oh, already some aggression from the mid lane from Mr. JDK on the Jace. So, yeah, already scrapping there. But, yeah, level 1's also scrapping in the top lane as King of Spades going for a very early trade. Has the passive up, is chunking out the Mundo, who trades back with the Cleavers. So, the health trade in the advantage of King of Spades. But Mundo's passive for Dawn Fate should hopefully get him back to HP faster. So yeah, other than this crazy level 1 scrapping, what do we expect to see out of these lanes, True?
I mean, like, I do think that you're going to see DA try to be really aggressive early. Like with Jace as well as Mordekaiser, they are going to hit an earlier power spike, or at least just be able to engage in combat a bit earlier than the Mundo and the Rise. And as you said, Mundo will be able to regen some health, but just because of Conquer. Oh, wait, Braum.
Oh, we already see the hook going in on the Braum as Twitch goes out of the ambush. It's just a nice little health trade, chunking out the Braum. No kill pressure, I'd like to say, for now.
Yeah, I know Summoners burn just a little bit of a trade, and obviously Braum did eat a fair chunk of damage, and they didn't get any in return, so Magnum Buck is going to have to chew on some potions. But as far as the solo lanes are concerned, Mordekaiser and Jace will have a little bit of an easier time very early on, as opposed to the Mundo, as opposed to the Rise, these champions who do need time and items to really hit their stride, especially when you think about how giga tanky Mundo is late game, when you think about how much damage that Rise can pump out. And up top lane, Dawn...
We're going to have Mordekaiser, King of Spades, grabs him with the Death's Grasp, hits the full combo into the passive, but still can't get the kill with the Obliterate. But yeah, Dawn Fate's got to play very carefully because he does not have Flash to get out if he gets caught by that again. The Mundo passive is very long cooldown early game if you're not able to pick up that canister.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's just going to hold true for a little bit here. Like, obviously... King of Spades is just going to have push advantage as Mordekaiser. The moment you use, I think it's called Obliterate on the wave, you're going to shove it forward because there's not really much that Dr. Mundo can do in comparison to that. And you see that Dawn Fate just continuously getting pushed into tower there. Taking a quick stock of things in the other lanes. Mid lane slightly favored towards JDK. Beg going in.
Beg looking for the gank, has to use the dash on the minion wave, but doesn't have a lot of damage. Parallel Convergence does not hit anything, but Echo jumps in with the Time Wider, actually phase dives onto a minion, but it is the flash burn from Beg, so, a nice counter gank from Lacuna's Echo, getting the flash out from Beg, means he's not as much of a kill threat because he's already level 4, won't have that flash ulti out once he hits level 6 for the next gank, so nice counter by the side of Flannel.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit frustrating to be DA in that position because, like, in that moment as Jace, you have no mana, so there's not really much follow-up you can do even when Beg does go in, but, to add salt on the wound, so to speak, Lacuna does come in, forces that flash out of Beg, and that does mean that, once again, Diana's engage potential, and Diana's ability to force is going to be slightly weaker at that point, but things are still relatively at parity between both of the teams so far.
Yep, absolutely, as we see here. Beg moving down to the bottom lane. The flash from the Braum, actually, and the dredge line hits the wall successfully, so it's just flash trade for flash. Braum taking some damage here. Magnum Buck chunked to about 40% HP after going for that flash. A Winter's Bite, but can't get much more than that, but it is that Jinx without the Summoner spell. Makes her very vulnerable in that follow-up play if Magnum Buck and Zig can get in there with the full stack of the concussive blows.
Yeah, I mean, that Jinx is quite vulnerable now, as you said, no longer having Flash, and there's not really much that Nautilus can do to peel the Jinx, right? Especially if you do go in. The top lane, though, another trade going, King of Spades, quite the health advantage here.
Yeah, very high health advantage. He pops over level 6, hits the Death Realm, hits the Flash. This is surely going to be Dawn Fate dying as he's trapped amongst the Death Realm, not getting out of there unless he's dead. Unfortunately, he's not as lucky as you, True. He could not get out of Death Realm. He does go back to his fountain, and now we see Echo getting captured here also. That was bonus stats from the Death Realm, making it so he gets to flash out from King of Spades, just bonking him to very low HP. So yeah, the top side of the map just completely being run by King of Spades on this Mordekaiser counter pick.
Yeah, it's as you said, like not being able to pick up the canister consistently is going to spell trouble for Dr. Mundo. But, as Mundo, you need levels, right? Like, you are so heavily reliant on your at least rank 2 ultimate. Your rank 1 ultimate really isn't anything to, like, brag about. So, Donphy's going to have a rough time. Here in mid lane, though, JDK, even a fair chunk of damage from Chaotic here. Now, top lane again, Dawn.
Okay, yeah, Dante does pop the ultimate and the ghost. He's trying to run down King of Spades before he has the ultimate up. Mordekaiser taken very low. Still has the shield, though. One more bonk to try to trade it back, but he does go down. But the counter gank going from Beg, likely going to pick up that kill, as we see on the bottom side. I think it was just a successful hook into the kill, as it's going to be Flying Squirtle. Actually, no, it's not Flying Squirtle. Unfortunately, Sunset Diner picking that kill up for his team. So on the top side, it's a trade 1-for-1, and on the bot side, it's fully positive for the side of Flannel, but unfortunately the support did pick it up, so less gold in the Jinx's hand, but this is a pretty big wave being shoved in under turret.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough for Zig in that position. You saw how low Flying Squirtle was at the very tail end of it all. Oh, wait, Magnum Buck has to be careful here.
Magnum Buck is trying to hold the wave, but he doesn't realize that the jungler is right there. Boom, Lacuna, big kahuna here, just stealing the kill easily. That setup for his AD carry leads to his own death, so unfortunately for Magnum Buck, he dies for letting his AD carry pick up the wave.
Oh, no.
Oh, and we see another gank coming in. The parallel convergence has to force the Jace back. The damage goes out the Z drive, chunking him so low. JDK has to flash out and barely survives that. Lacuna doing some nice work across bot lane and mid lane. As we see the super mega death rocket actually on the minimap, barely missed Jace as well. So JDK living by the skin of their teeth, but that does mean that mid prio going over the bot lane. Prio also going over means the first dragon going over to the side of Flannel, unless Beg can go and stop it with the Diana.
And Magnum Buck is here, but you're going into a potential 1v3 now, a 2v3 situation as Flying Squirtle is showing up. Zig stealth.
Okay, Beg is here now as we get the smite secure. Now Twitch laying fire onto the Jinx here, doing big damage with the Rat-a-tat-tat, as Nautilus is likely going to go down here, dies to the Crescent Strike. But oh my god, and just the straight AD carry 1v1, it's Flying Squirtle taking out Zig easily. He still has a little bit of health left. He's getting chased down by the Braum, who drops the Unbreakable, slowed by the Winter's Bite, and just the easy pickup for Beg's Diana. Now 3-0 on a killing spree. This is going to be a major problem for the side of Flannel if they don't shut her down, but a nice counter getting the escape kills on the exit for the side of Divine Ascension, but it is in the end Flannel getting that first objective.
Yeah, I mean, in that fight, you did see that DA was attempting to contest the dragon. They go in just a little bit too late for that to be contestable. But as far as the fight itself goes, wait, top lane though.
Oh, Death Realm popped by the Mordekaiser. He's getting run down, 1 level lead. Active King of Spades trying to get the bonk down, but Dawn Fate pops the ulti himself. Maximum Doshes gives a lot of movement speed for him to get out, so ulti's just traded there. Dawn Fate a little bit worse for wear in the health department, but he is Dr. Mundo. He can heal up very effectively, but we see a roam coming from JDK. Shock Blast, empowered misses. As you see, Mordekaiser's tanking up a lot of damage. King of Spades taken very low, takes 3 turret shots actually, and just dies. A bit too much ambition gets him killed as the king is dead. JDK's roam gave him too much confidence, and it's just going to be a solo kill from Dawn Fate, turning it around as Rise, Mr. Chaotic, picking up 3 plates in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, like in that particular situation there in top lane, King of Spades, JDK, they want to look for the dive onto Dawn Fate, but King of Spades walks a little bit too far forward, a little bit too early. Oh, wait.
They're going for the dive, but they're taking up turn. There's no wave. Dredgeline hits, as well as the ultimate Chaotic ports in with the Realm Warp, getting the kill, but it is still a 1-for-1 trade because Zig lived so long under that turret, and the Deadly Poison does get him that kill credit, but now he does lose another cannon wave, as we see Magnum trying to block out the Jinx, trying to hold the wave, but can't do much, as it's just going to be more gold in the hands of this AD carry and now the mid laner. So Chaotic did lose a little bit of farm from that, now down about 2 waves, but I think he's happy to pick up that kill there.
Yeah, things are going fine for Chaotic in the mid lane, right? Like, even if you're 18 CS down or so. Oh, wait, Dawn Fate.
Gank onto Dawn Fate, but his passive nullifies the first pull from the Mordekaiser. He's getting chunked down. He pops he actually doesn't have the ulti. He's just tanking it up with the Heart Zapper. He's just so damn tanky. He just uses the Ghost and runs out of there. Beg even invested the Moonfall for that damage, so that is a key ultimate used, and Dawn Fate literally just walked out of there with the Ghost, so, a lot of time being wasted in that top lane for not a lot of return.
It feels like DA is trying really, really hard to push this Mundo into the dirt, but at a certain point, you know, like they're kind of giving up a lot for it, and with Dawn Fate getting some return kills. Admittedly, you know, the first kill that's completely on King of Spades. Like they were trying to coordinate and make it so that it's going to be like Mordekaiser getting out just barely, but it ended up being Mordekaiser dying, and they killed Mundo again. But then the second kill also just being like an issue of execution. And now this Mordekaiser, while you do have damage, you're contending with a Mundo that's getting tankier and tankier.
Oh, as we see the Death Realm pop, Dr. Mundo is trapped inside, pops the maximum dosage. King of Spades trying to run him down again. We saw this just earlier, but Dr. Mundo, is he tanky enough to survive? Oh no, the Rylai's, just that extra bit of damage. The fully completed item means he actually wins that 1v1. Turns out if you don't tank 3 turret shots, your odds of winning that are pretty good, as a solo kill picked up for King of Spades Mordekaiser. Ooh, mid lane. Ghost is popped. Chaotic, a bit scared. Has to use that summoner spell to get away from JDK's Jace. So yeah, just a positive trade for the summoners there. JDK just dropping as much pressure onto the Chaotic as he can before this Rise can scale.
And scaling is definitely the name of the game for Chaotic. Oh wait, top lane, the action's not over. King of Spades,
action's not over as King of Spades getting run down by Dawn Fate's Mundo. As we see in the back, it's Lacuna's Echo here also. Parallel Convergence barely misses, but now he's running him down, has the Time Winder, hits him again, but now Mordekaiser pops the shield. It's a lot of extra health, but the Obliterate does not go through, and it's just a fiesta in the top lane. Ganks, solo kills, solo deaths. It's just everything happening up here, as it's going to be Lacuna picking that up, one up for himself. Now with that fully completed Dusk and Dawn is a force to be reckoned with.
Sorry, excuse me.
All good, all good. Let me know when you're ready, True, but I'll keep commentating while you're a bit awry, as we see Dr. Mundo trying to push in the wave. One thing we didn't talk about is a pretty big farm disparity in the top side for Dawn Fate, losing about, yeah, that's about 4 waves of CS, but in the jungle, a pretty substantial 15 farm lead for the jungler. But now we see the roam from the Braum, can't activate the concussive blows. There's just one more auto off. So as we see in the bottom river, we see the hook getting thrown out. Not sure if anybody got hit by that, but it is the side of Flannel on top of the dragon already. We see a lot of damage being dropped down. The Jigs has that first completed item while Twitch does not. Diana maybe looking for the steal, jumps in with the Moonfall, but actually can't get the secure, and it is Echo who jumps back out with the Chrono Break. The first rocket goes out, gets the kill. Get excited on the Jinx. JDK goes down to the Echo as we see the ultimate go out. Wow, Echo followed him all the way with the phase dive, as it's going to be a double kill, and it's going to be likely a triple kill. Oh my god, this Jinx is unleashed. Flying Squirrel is on some high winds as he picks up a triple kill from that team fight over Dragon, completely untouched. Just a beautiful display of support jungle synergy as the Nautilus hooked in the Diana into the Echo ultimate, just having so much burst, meaning Beg could not do that much in the team fight. A 4-for-0 and the Dragon secure for the side of Flannel. They are happy with how that team fight went.
Yeah, it's kind of just a highlight case of what we were talking about headed into the game, right? Where Nautilus offers your team a more consistent engage tool. It ends up working out exactly that way for Flannel. Things that work out great for them, and now they are definitively in driver's seat of this game. And you take a look at where the gold is situated for the side of Flannel. You see this Echo that's 303, 9 stacks on Darkseal. The Rise that is scaling up almost has that first tier item fully stacked, just completed Roa. But the highlight case here is Flying Squirtles with this Jinx, the fully completed
I don't know if they're actually committing, but we see, yeah, he walks back for a little bit, but Dawn Fate is a level down, pops the maximum dosage. The Moonfall actually just gets absorbed by the passive, so that is ulti wasted, but it is a trade, I guess, so hopefully King of Spades can do something with that ult advantage, as it seems like Beg, after picking up 3 early kills, can't do much more. He gets jumped on by Lacuna's Echo, who is up 2 levels, and now the Rise is moving, gets the Rune Prison into the root. Diana cannot do much, has no flash, has no ulti, and that's just a freebie over to Chaotic. A nice collapse with the use of that Ghost and the flash, so very nice roam from the side of Chaotic, picking up an extra kill for himself, secures the pressure in this top river, means that Lacuna on the Echo can secure the Rift Herald for his team.
Oh dear. I mean, like these fights. Oh wait, Dawn fight and King
Oh
of
yeah,
Spades.
the Death Realm is
Aggressive
popped.
again.
Mundo does not have the maximum dosage. It's the flash into the Obliterate. Surely this is a kill. Yeah, it's going to be a burn down with that Faded Ashes and the Rylai's. You cannot escape from Mr. King of Spades as he continues the lane dominance. Gets his third solo kill, I believe, in a row there. But it does mean on the other side, it's going to be Echo finishing the Rift Herald. You know, although King of Spades is winning the top side for his map, his team is slowly falling apart as you see engage near this jungle of Divine Ascension. Nautilus taken very low. The ulti drops, but Jinx is here. Super Mega Death Rock does big damage. Braum trying to run away, can't get out of range fast enough, but Zig gets the return kill. But now Jinx is excited, gets a double kill, blasts him in the face with the rockets, blasts Jace again with the minigun. As we see, he's just got so much attack speed, and Diana flashes in, or sorry, not flashes in, but uses the ult in. Flying Squirtle flashes out for the triple. It's just untenable at this point. This Jinx is now 7 kills. Chaotic now at 3. The mid and 80 carry of Team Flannel are just taking over this game.
Yeah, I mean, like what I was talking about before we were heading, like before we got into that another stream of action, is that Flannel is so well enabled to win this game at this point because gold is going exactly where you want it to go. But also talking about the matchup of these junglers, Echo and Diana, these two highlight cases of champions that are abusing Dusk and Dawn so well. And it's just going to be the moment that one of them gets ahead, the other is going to fall completely to the wayside, and that's exactly what we're seeing with Lacuna and Beg right now. Because you can contrast Lacuna. Oh wait, King of Spades.
Oh wait,
yeah, the
ulti is sorry, the turret is secured. That is the objective bounty as we see run down again. King of Spades popping the death round, doing big damage to Dawn Fate's Dr. Mundo. He did pop the maximum dosage, but he gets dragged in by the Death's Grasp. Another Obliterate does big damage. That isolated Q is so powerful. One more slays him again. That is 4 solo kills in a row for the side of King of Spades. But does that really matter when your entire other side of the map is falling apart? We're going to have to see if he can make a difference with his lead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's great to be getting those solo kills, but like this is a situation where you as a top laner are like, yeah, I'm winning my lane, and then you look at the rest of the map, it's on fire. It's like, oh no, oh no. Because like the thing that I was trying to say is like not only is Beg 2 levels down from Lacuna, Beg is down on XP as opposed to Flying Squirtle. Granted, yeah, Jinx has 7 kills, right? Jinx has way more XP than you typically would at this point in the game. But it's really, really bad to be dealing with that sort of situation.
JDK getting run down by Lacuna's Echo. Parallel Convergence dropped. Can't get the slow. JDK's running away with that bonus movement speed. Tries to turn around. Uses the XL gate in the other direction. Can't get himself out of there as Lacuna's on a rampage. 4-0. JDK had that early pressure on the rise, but now as we transition into mid-game, he is not feeling too hot on this Jace as it's just terror. As now Flannel's going to use that timer to get this third Dragon Soul point now as we see the gank on the top side. Can they catch up to Dawn Fate's Dr. Mundo? He doesn't have the ulti. He's just running away with pure movement speed. Somehow he gets slighted down for the slow. The Crescent Strike hits. Diana looking for it, but Death's Grasp just barely misses, and that's 3, maybe 4 members of the side of Divine Ascension trying to do something, as on the other side of the map, plates for this rise. The Dragon Soul point for Flannel. Everything is going their way, and their Mundo doesn't even die for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, top lane is really the one thing that DA has going for them at the moment, but it's really not sufficient for them to generate a winning play or a winning move out of. Like, yeah, you know, you can keep killing Mundo, but you're not, you know, getting advantage on the map, or you're not getting the inside track on an objective through it. And, like, we're still just looking at this highlight case of, like, Mundo just wants to be here, wants to be tanky. Like, yes, Mundo is at a devastating disadvantage at the moment, you know, being something like almost 60 CS down, but Mundo isn't really the problem for DA, right? Like, the problem is this 404 Echo, who's 50 CS up. It's this Rise that's 306. It's this Jinx that's 7-1-4.
Yeah, speaking of the Rise,
no way to catch anyone.
Chaotix getting run down, has popped the Ghost, has popped the Phase Rush, gets the Root, is actually very tanky, is maybe turning this to Seraph's Embrace Shield. This gives him enough. Can he turn this 2v1? He does! The Teleport is just here for the flex as Dawn Fate shows up for the picture, but it is Chaotic who ruins the chances of DA's gank as he just gets a successful 2v1 just by himself. Just the Seraph shield pops. He has the backing of his turret. Didn't even need to flash there. Just blasts Beg and Jace. The Diana, who started off 3-0, is now 3-4. 4 deaths in a row. Man, it feels like it is hopeless for the side of DA as we see they collapse onto King of Spades, who pops the Death Realm, but the Realm Warp goes in. He doesn't realize it, but there's 4 people actually here as Echo, taken low, almost dies, but it doesn't matter. He has the Chrono Break if needed, and Flying Squirrel shows that he is super effective against King of Spades as he just drops another rocket on him. 8-1 now, 3 fully completed items on this Jinx. It's just going to be an absolute terror if he hasn't been already, which he has been. Just going to absolutely obliterate every single team fight if he is present.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is, like you're already at this point for DA where, like, you're not really thinking about Game 1 anymore. You're just playing it out, like, and you're thinking about Game 2 and what you want to do. Because, like, you think about how hard these champions scale, especially Jinx and Rise, and there's just not much of a path back into this for DA, at least in this game. Obviously, Flannel are very well aware of that. You can just see them doing.
Maybe they can go for the steal. Oh, no, Beg doesn't go for the flash over. It's just Baron secured. The get excited means they jump on the Diana, who just uses the flash now to escape over the red buff wall, but they continue the chase. Parallel conversions dropped for the slow as they're chasing down this Diana. JDK deciding to get solo gold for themselves, getting a lot of plates. As, yeah, they're just taking over the topside jungle of Divine Ascension. Now in a 1v1 again, it seems like this 1v1 is the only thing that's been going in the favor of DA. They go for the Dr. Mundo. He gets dragged back in by the Death's Grasp. One more auto would get the stun, but they can't land it, I don't think. Winter's Bite hits, but boom, the Obliterate goes in. Diana jumps into the backline with the ulti, but gets exhausted. Can't get much done. Jinx is taken low, but just has the barrier to get in range. As we see actually the trade kill, a huge shutdown from Zig, but in the end, it is Lacuna, the top kahuna, just getting a double kill, ripping through the entire backline with that Time Winder. You might have killed one carry, but what is that when you have 2 more on the side of Flannel as they take that team fight 4 for 2.
And that's a great point, Kevin, because, like, yes, you shut down the Jinx, but obviously Rise didn't go down, and now you're looking at a Echo that is 1 stack off of a fully stacked Medjai's. Like, oh, JDK in trouble.
And now he gets baited in. Echo pops the Chrono Break to get some healing. Parallel convergence for the slow. Can he get in for a phase dive? One more phase dive gets the kill. Lacuna is legendary on this Echo. 8-0-5, having a monster game. Like you said, 1 stack away from Medjai's. Well, baby, he just completed that book with that chapter. Number 25, fully stacked Medjai's, and just an absolute terror on the Rift.
Yeah, I mean, like, this game is very much over, right? Like, you know, there's no pomp and circumstance. We're not talking about, like, a comeback mechanic. Like, the comeback mechanic is DA hoping that 3 members disconnect, right? Like, and those 3 specific members would have to be Echo, Rise, and Jinx. And I think at this point, DA...
trying to get vision, it's just an instant hook into an instant death. Beg goes down before he can blink, and just so does King of Spades. The stun gets dropped on the Nautilus, but he hooks himself back in as it's another easy catch on top of the Braum. The Twitch, I don't even know where he was going there, but he just goes straight back to the sewer to his death, and Lacuna picks up another one on the backside. They're just farming Divine Ascension at this point. That's going to be 4 for 0. Again, so clean, so easy. Call it Maybelline, as they're gonna go and get this 4th dragon, securing Ocean Dragon Soul. If the team fights were already unwinnable for the side of DA, it just got even harder now.
Yeah, I mean, like, even now, JDK is trying to run for the hill. Sunset Diner is right on top of him. There's another hook, and Echo's coming in.
Dredgeline hits Echo, just 1 phase dive into 3 autos into death. Flying Squirtle actually flows out the water gun. The little zap gets the kill. 9 kills on this Jinx. About to hit 4 items with that LDR likely for that second last item as we see the brawl in the jungle. Beg trying to go for the 1v1. Can't do it. Is 4 levels down. Echo is just an absolute terror. This is stronger than the guy I think I saw in Arcane. But yeah, the endless healing from Ocean Soul just means he can heal up easily. But now, Flying Squirtle a little bit out of position, tries to get the kill. Man. He does get the kill, gets excited with the Super Mega Death Rocket, trying to kite back inside the pit. Mordekaiser doesn't have the Death Realm. Actually, he drops it on the Jinx, but he's losing the 1v1. And as he drags one person in, his entire team dies around him. Flying Squirtle out of position. Sorry, he's a Blastoise. He just turned on the cannons and just fired on everyone, picking up just pretty much a 1v3 kill as his team collapses. The Ocean Soul siege is going down. The poke misses. JDK's Jace is the only person here left to defend, and I don't think he can do it by himself.
I mean, like, maybe if you kill the back line of minions, but it does look like Flannel's going to work, well enough to protect them. And yeah, this wasn't a great game from DA. Like, and I think that if that first fight at drag goes different, right? If that goes in the favor of DA, we might be seeing like the opposite situation.
Well, Magnum Bug is just dead. He's just dead. Get excited on Jinx means the turret goes down. Nexus, turret falling, exhaust dropped. King of Spades trying to do something, but he can't, and this Squirtle is just going Super Saiyan. Wrong anime, but same outcome. He's just destroys everyone. He's just dying in the base. Everyone gets obliterated, even the Super Mega Death Rocket. In the end, insult added to injury, as it's going to be a clean 39-kill game from Flannel, taking game 1 easily off of Divine Ascension. Premier League, we are returning. It is Kebin Dunk on the play-by-play as one of your hosts, joined by the one and only True, who is back from the Mordekaiser Death Realm on color casting. We're back for game 2 of what was a bloody and very one-sided first game from Flannel Equinox. But DA looked to turn that around as they look to make their boy True proud in the second game with a very, very strong team comp that looks to counter what Flannel Equinox have set up this time. Lanes are set. Minions arrive way earlier than I remember because it's the new season. True, take us away. How is this early game going to go?
Well, I mean, like, obviously for DA, I think, especially for King of Spades here in this game, and you were already seeing a little bit of trading going on. The Darius, you want to be as aggressive as possible. Like, you get your passive stacked up as much as you can, so the trade becomes that much worse for Cho'Gath, and it's exactly what King of Spades executes on. So you get out to a slight early advantage. Now, in bottom lane here, I'm kind of surprised to see Magnuma going for the area. I feel like it's a bit more consistent on Seraphine to just have Guardian right now, especially because so many Enchanter items feel really good on Seraphine. But that being said, it's not the end of the world. I think the real question on my mind is seeing where Beg and Lacuna want to be directing their early attention, because both Trundle and Sinjao are champions that are jungle champions that can get early ganks off. It's just about, you know, where is the setup for both of your teams.
Absolutely, as we see Dawn Fate dropping the Rupture. Maybe King of Spades has an opportunity here for the solo kill. Sorry, lagged out on my screen for a little bit. He misses the Rupture. King of Spades has this angle. Level 3 popped. The Ghost is popped. Full stacks of the Hemorrhage. He has fully stacked Conqueror. Flash into the Decimate. Gets first blood. Like you said, King of Spades playing hella aggro, and that nets him first blood already at just 2 minutes and 15 seconds. That is exactly what you want to see under Darius.
Yeah, I mean, it works out so well just because you get those passives stacked up, and there's just not much that Cho'Gath can do. JDK,
very heavy scrapping, yeah. JDK almost getting a kill on Chaotic, who still has the flash in reserve, but doesn't have the potion, while JDK's Victor does. So just able to poke out with that laser, the Aerie doing big damage compared to Chaotic just running the phase rush for the safety. But yeah, JDK taking early control of this lane.
Oh, wait, Chaotic. Oh, man, a little bit of a
barely. Just barely living there. I think Chaotic has to back. Yeah, ticks over to level 4, so is going to spend the teleport, but that is going to be a couple minions, I think, lost, just due to how fast JDK was able to crash that in. Magnum Buck throwing out that surround sound, not hitting anything. Sorry, that's the beat drop. I never remember the names, but we see the gank from Lacuna. The fidget spinner goes out for the slow Zig, has to pop the Ghost. Can Lacuna get in range for the audacious charge? He does, but can't get the 3 Talon Strike. Gets rooted up by the snare from Seraphine, but now Magnum Buck is out of mana, turns it around. Aqua Prison hits a bit too far, has to invest the flash now. Magnum Buck went too far forward and didn't realize he didn't have mana, so does have to invest the flash there. And that's, yeah, no Summoner's Burn on the side of Flannel Esports, so there's going to be a positive trade, a bit of time used for Lacuna, but yeah, that's going to be a Seraphine with no flash, which is very dangerous. And oh man, on the other side of the map, we just get a successful gank on a Dawn Fate, who just died again, and we didn't even see it happen, but oh my god, he's down 3 waves of farm already, and King of Spades is very happy for it.
I mean, that's about as painful as I can get for a top laner. Now, Dawn Fate able to TP back into lane, and you know, we did see that advantage for King of Spades with those new season changes, just because Darius, you can take Flash and you can take Ghost again. You don't have to compromise because you get TP for free eventually. But that does mean that Dawn Fate is in this really, really rough spot. Like, yes, King of Spades and Beg have invested their flashes into this, but the kills are still meaningful, especially because the early gank onto bot side from Lacuna didn't really materialize into anything. Like, yes, Magnum Buck did end up losing Flash because it went too far forward, ran out of mana. Although Flying Squirrel getting a little bit aggressive right now.
Yep, pops the cultivation and just gets some good chunks onto him. Throws out the fidget spinner for some good damage, so control of the bottom lane is still in the hands of Sunset Diner and Flying Squirtle. But yeah, we see in the mid lane a gank going out. Lacuna trying to get in range for that charge, but can't get it. I think, yeah, like you said, Lacuna just not able to do much with the attempts at the ganks, while Beg did with that top laner.
Yeah, and I really fear that things are only going to get worse for Dawn Fate before they get better. Like, Cho'Gath is a very immobile champion, and you can just see, like, continuously getting zoned off the wave. Still roughly 3 waves down in terms of CS, and the Darius is just so annoying for Cho'Gath, because the moment you walk up, you know, he'll pull you, and your only real option at that point is to hope that you land Rupture, and if you don't, you'll get punished really hard. But speaking of punishes, JDK in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Lacuna unfortunately got stuck in that gravity field, so can't continue the chase, but Victor, JDK did run out of mana, did get a little too close and got hit with that Wind Becomes Lightning, so chunked out, has to recall the base and doesn't have the TP back. Dawn Fate just making sure he doesn't walk in that bush without vision, drops the Rupture, but doesn't do a ton of damage at this level, at this AP. So Chaotic trying to push out the wave. Bag now running at him, drops the pillar, has the bonk activated, but now Chaotic trying to turn this around, doing some decent damage, gets the phase rush. Doing, yeah, pretty good damage with that threaded volley, but yeah, I think they're just likely trading health, but that health chunk out onto Beg means that I think this bot lane prio plus that chunk out means that Flan are going for this first dragon. I like that they're going for this early because, just in my opinion and what we've been seeing in a lot of pro leagues, that early dragon stacking just gets online so early, it becomes a very relevant win con just a lot earlier in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the feats of warfare are gone, right? But the early gold that you have at, like, once again accessible on First Blood, First Tower, and it's once again there, so that's also meaningful. Early drag, at least the early Chemdrake isn't super duper meaningful, right? Just because it's just, I think, like tenacity and healing and shielding power. It's not super duper important for either team to be nabbing, but it is just nice to get something in your pocket. Like, taking a look at, like, how the game is going, really for both of these teams, solo lanes are very, very healthy for DA at the moment, especially in that top lane. Jungle slightly favored towards Lacuna, Xin Zhao able to clear really well, big surprise. But then bot lane, roughly at parity. Like, yes, Zig is slightly down.
Lacuna going for the gank. Flash out of the gravity field for that knock up from 3 Talon. Forces the flash out of JDK's Victor. Oh, but he walks back in too close. Wind becomes lightning, becomes death for JDK. A nice gank from Lacuna, knowing to flash out, knowing that he could bait in the Victor, hitting that 3 Talon, or sorry, the Wind becomes lightning. But now, as we see Chaotic getting caught up by Beg, can Lacuna save him? I don't think so. Beg just picks up a freebie in the mid lane.
Well, you know, Pillar of Ice is just devastating and annoying to play against because it's that persistent slow. So yeah, Beg just able to walk right in there, get the kill.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow, now the flank as we see the Trundle running it down in the bot lane, but a nice dodge from Flying Squirtle. The flash out as well, gets out of a lot, pops the barrier, but Tunkin still very low. Zig just firing the arrows, gets the kill with that Ranger's focus. A successful gank on the bottom lane from the side of Beg and Divine Ascension, and now in the top lane, the scrapping continues. Fully stacked Hemorrhage as King of Spades doesn't even invest the ult. Oh, just kidding. He really didn't need to do that, but invest the ulti just to add the insult to injury, getting another solo kill for this Darius, just putting the pain on this top laner.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better, and it's certainly getting worse for Dawn Fate in this situation. There really is nothing that you can hope to do as Cho'Gath here without any help or relief from your team, and yeah, that's not really happening for Dawn Fate, so just condemned to play a difficult matchup. Actually going to run into King of Spades.
No. Walks right into King of Spades, but can he get the kill? Dear. He does big damage, but the heal. Oh no, he flashed in front, but it's actually a flash traded. King of Spades likely going to kill them there, but Dawn Fate hits the knockup. Can he get the feast? He does! Cut down solo kill to turn it around. Dawn Fate, like you said, Drew, it's going to get worse before it gets better, but now I think it just got a little bit better for him with that solo kill.
Yeah, King of Spades got, like, honestly, it looked it looked so much like the Darius is just going to get another kill there, and that really seals the deal for the Cho'Gath. But Dawn Fate finally able to land that key rupture, and gets the ult off, and just enough. Unfortunately, didn't get the ulti stack from it, so no bonus health to be had. It certainly is a means to somewhat stem the bleeding, or at the very least slow it down. Good for Dawn Fate to get that kill in the pocket, but Flannel, they're still in a relatively rough spot overall. Especially now looking at Zig on this Ashe, he does have that kill in the pocket. Ashe is still very much a hyper carry threat into the late game. Not dissimilar to Yunara in a lot of ways.
Oh, the snare hits on the Flying Squirrel, hit with the Enchanted Crystal Air. Zig dodges all of the CC, nice sidestepping, dodges all of Sunset Diner's moves, and now he's going to chase down the flash in from Magnum Buck for the root from that beat drop, and Zig going to easily, I was going to say secure this, but unfortunately Magnum Buck takes both, but still a beautiful 2v2 sequence from the side of Zig, and Magnum Buck gets them Prio in this bot lane and 2 kills for the Seraphine.
Yeah, it's rough as a support to just be taking your ADC kills unintentionally like that. But the more important landscape, though, is that Yunara dies, right? The Nami dies. That means you can extend your lead out a bit more, and you can deny CS by crashing the wave into tower. So things going much, much better for DA this game around, as opposed to game number 1. Okay, so it's like I will have lost my co-caster for a little bit, so I'll just be taking over for a short period of time, but taking a quick inventory of how things are going. Things are going just great for DA. You know, they're at a 3k gold lead, though Magnum Buck able to dodge away from the bubble here. Dragon up in just about 15 seconds. So that's something that I think both teams... I was going to say both teams could look to play around, but Beg did get the back off, so maybe DA is just going to elect to let this one go.
Yeah, I think that'd be a bit of a mistake, though, if they do let the second Dragon go over, because that does extend the timeline if they were going to go for that Dragon Soul win con, but it looks like they are just giving it, so Flannel able to secure second Dragon without much fight, it seems, unless Beg makes it here quick enough, which I don't think he can.
Yeah, you don't have completed boots, and like this is a long, long walk. Like, yes, you could probably ask Magnum Buck as well as JDK and Zig.
Flying Squirrel getting hit by everything, gets hit with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and the Encore and the beat drop. He's just getting hit by everything, drops the Arc Light for the slow, tries to kite back with that Kanmei steps, trying to kite back, pops the barrier to survive, one more auto, but Zig flashes in for the volley. Now Chaotic and the Xinjiao Lacuna are here, drops the ultimate, they're chunking down Zig, the shutdown goes over, but Beg has the subjugate doing big damage, drops the pillar, as we see Victor, JDK picking up the kill on Lacuna, and Beg is just running down this Talia. Magnum Buck now frontlining. Chaotic, can he get out of range of the root? I don't think he can. Drops the Weaver's Wall and actually gets the channel off. Insane play by him to make it out of there untouched. Very, very spicy situation as Sunset Diner managed to recall before getting dived as well. So it is Dragon picked up, but it is 2 deaths over. Maybe it's a worth trade for the side of Flannel Esports. I think that could have went a lot worse than they expected.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely could have. I mean, they do come away with a Dragon at the end of the day, but fight afterwards is what just spiced them so hard there. Really good for Chaotic to get the channel off on the wall, as you said, and as well as Sunset Diner are able to avoid death as well, but that still means that DA, they're at roughly a 4k gold lead. The game is still, once again, very, very healthy for them, and you're seeing Flying Squirtle on the Yunara really struggling against just the amount of slows and CC that DA can bring out. Obviously, Seraphine's root synergizes very well with Ashe's own slow on auto attacks, because that means that Seraphine only needs to cast once, and you get the root out of it. And then if you have double cast, that means you 100% get the stun if Ashe is already slow to target. So things going really, really well for DA this time around. Obviously, top lane still very, very healthy for King of Spades. Mid lane still pretty healthy for JDK in spite of that one.
Yeah, look at that CS differential, right? 50 CS in the top side. Fully complete a stride break, but now the gank continues. Beg comes down here again. Flying Squirrel does not catch a break. Can he dodge the Encore? He cannot. Gets caught up in it. Sunset Diner taken solo, but now the counter gank from Lacuna. I don't know if he can turn this around, though. He's taken not that low, but oh my god, Flying Squirrel on the back end actually died to the volley and the Seraphine damage, so it is just Lacuna watching his bot lane die, and as we jump to top lane, it is King of Spades showing why he is king as he gets his 3rd solo kill in a row. Dawn Fate is having a terrible time on this Cho'Gath as he's just getting farmed by King of Spades. Now level 12, the strongest person in the game by far. Oh, Chaotic, and now JDK fighting here. Chaotic just popped the role quest for those upgraded boots. Maybe gets him out alive. He is a level down on Victor. JDK almost getting the kill with that Arcane Ray, but can't get it as King of Spades secures that first turret in the top lane. Very, not surprised because he has been dominating so hard.
Yeah, shock of the century to see King of Spades get that tower. I mean, obviously JDK in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh, but the gank, yeah, JDK gets knocked up by Lacuna, but he has the backup of his team. Magnum Buck with the shield, and Beg with just the Trundle Aura 3-0 on this guy. Has the Triforce Spike, very dangerous, as now the bottom lane of the side of Divine Ascension move to mid to catch this wave. There's no one who can really clear this, so I think it's going to be just the turret going down. They have the grubs, they have the damage from the Ashe, taken very low. This would be the second turret in a row and open up the map for the side of DA.
Yeah, another turret goes down in favor of DA, and DA is also working on the Rift Herald for themselves. So they're really trying to accelerate the pace of this game. They are just about 6k gold ahead. So, and that's at 15 minutes. That's an extremely healthy gold lead. So DA, they're really trying to set themselves up for success here. You can see already one completed item on Zig's Ashe, working well towards the second completed item. And then, you take a look really everywhere, and nowhere is struggling that hard for DA. Even JDK on this victory, pressured after several ganks, has only died once, and is still 30 plus CS ahead. So DA, it feels like maybe they were being genuine with game number 1 and saying hey, we're just trying to pinch pulls, so we'll draft game number 1 to make game number 2 and 3 really easy for us.
Yep, it's a repeat of what we saw in game 1 with King of Spades just taking over the lane, but he's on a champion that can just put in so much more team fight impact on the Darius. He has the Ghost, and since with the role quest he just gets the teleport, it's just way easier for him to just run in with the Ghost, drag in a couple people to apprehend, and just be a menace in the team fights. And it just also helps that his team is also just winning everywhere. As Dawn Fate's trying his best desperately to clear the way. King of Spades just farming up the plates on him. The Rupture misses the silence hit. Chaotic, can he hit the seismic shove? King of Spades pops the Ghost to escape, so Chaotic tries to make a move, but yeah, while he's doing that, he's losing a lot of farm in the mid wave as the Rift Herald is dropped in the mid, as it's going to be the third dragon, stopping the dragon stacking. Divine Ascension picking this one up.
Sorry about that. Yeah, DA, they are able to get that first dragon for themselves, and that does mean that potential win condition for the side of Flannel does get pulled out even that much further. With how strong DA is, I feel like that's going to continue this pattern at this point. Yes, you're able to get those first 2 drags, but because the game state is not favorable for you, really the only thing that you have going for you is having a somewhat healthier tower in the bottom lane. And that's just not enough to play around for superior positioning on the dragons. It has to be some sort of magical heroic effort that Flannel are going to need to pull out to get the next 2 dragons and really have a way back into this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to pull out a miracle play here because in the team fights, I don't even know if I trust them to execute on it. They don't really have those big turnaround plays unless Chaotic hits a multi-man seismic shove over the Unraveled Earth, as we see the mid lane tier 2 being traded over from DA as bot lane tier 1 goes down for the side of Flannel, as we see Dawn Fate using the Proto Belt to try to escape, gets the knock up with the Rupture. Tanking a lot is King of Spades as he tanks another turret shot, but Dawn Fate just barely alive, surviving after flashing away from that Noxing Guillotine. But now we see ulti popped from both sides. Chaotic looking for the seismic shove, hits nothing, walls off his own teammate as Flying Squirrel pops the ultimate and can't get much done, as we see now Lacuna trying to forge himself into this bush, trying to forage through, can't get much done, as we see Beg, Magnum Buck, and Zig just take mid tier 2 and walk away scot-free.
Yeah, and this is really starting to highlight that issue and what you were talking about before with how does Flannel play these fights so that they have an advantage. It highlights the issue with Flannel's comp that they don't have anyone to really hit the go button. They're running into the same problem that DA had in game number 1, where who is engaging for your team, right? Your best person is technically Xin Zhao, but afterwards you don't have much follow-up CC outside of Nami Wave. So at that point, like the only other thing that you can hope for is like, oh well, maybe the enemy team overcommits. And from what we're seeing from DA so far in this game, they're not playing that way. They're not getting like bullheadedly aggressive. They're not throwing themselves under turrets, forcing dives. They are just trying to make Flannel bleed out slowly after securing the lead for themselves earlier.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a pause here as I believe the side of DA had their support, Mr. Magnum Buck, disconnect. So we're going to have to wait a little bit on that. So to everyone still watching, thanks for your patience. But while we wait, I guess we can chat a little bit more about the game and maybe the systems for anyone tuning in from this new season. A lot has changed since Season 2. 7K gold lead's still a pretty big deal in this new season. But yeah, top lane quests added. That's probably the most significant thing. And then the 80 carry, I'd say quests also are probably the next biggest thing. So yeah, True. Any thoughts on the new season system changes that you think, biggest winners, biggest losers kind of deal?
I mean, as you said, like top lane and ADC, they get a huge step up just off of like ADCs. They get what is it? They get their boots go into a special slot, and then they get bonus gold. And then like top lane, it's bonus XP, and they can hit level 20, and they get TP for free, or they get like a super enhanced version of TP.
Yeah.
Like, those two things alone are extremely game changing. But I think the other worthy piece of discussion is just talking about these new items that exist, right? Like for supports, Vandal Pipes has been a real highlight, like because strictly speaking, you can build it on anyone, on any support, and it just gives you that persistent attack speed buff. But then some other items that we were already talking about, like Hex Optics, Fiend Fireballs, like these items that when they synergize with their champions, they might be working a little bit too well. But that being said, like I think the best way I can say is that League feels a bit fresher this year than it has in the previous ones, and I do appreciate that because like I feel like last year was a bit of a slog for a lot of people. When Feats of Strength launched, it created a very like bad mindset in players because like when you lost out on getting the boots upgrade, like people would lose their minds like very easily. As opposed to just like seeing like, oh, bonus gold from first blood and first turret, like those feel a lot different. But I do feel like the seasons felt a bit more fresh, and the seasons felt more enjoyable to play so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this has been the most fun I've had recently in the League season. I've been playing a lot more than previous seasons just because it's like, yeah, there's like new items to try. It feels like it's more rewarding playing AD carry as someone who plays quite a bit of that role. It just, the bonus gold and like you hitting your 3-item power spike faster just feels like it fulfills that power fantasy a lot more. It's just more fulfilling, more fun when you actually get to play the game and don't get run down every single game by just the support, right? You actually feel like a hyper carry again with those crit items. I mean, top lane is a bit of a gong show, right? Because it feels like sometimes your top laner goes down 2 kills, like maybe, this game that we're spectating right now is just unplayable because it's a level 20 Darius running at you with both Ghost and Flash, and you can't even play the map because he has TP still. So it is a bit, challenging sometimes because it just feels like the lane gap. If you are able to make that kingdom happen, you just are able to take over the game, which I think is probably really satisfying if you're a good top laner, which I am not, or not have I ever claimed to be. But yeah, like you said, a lot of the new items are really fun. They synergize so well. I mean, I think Twitch and Yunar are so happy to get like a second item that's not just Runaan's. And yeah, Stormrazor being back means champions like Aphelios and Jhin, right, that maybe don't want to always buy Collector, feel pretty good about buying that item too. So I just think, I just really like the item diversity. I mean, the champion diversity as well. In top lane, you can afford to pick more aggressive champions like the Darius. People are spamming Renekton top with Ignite again, just because like the pressure you can get with that combat sum is just so much more effective.
Yeah, and I think those are really great points. I mean, like, talking about how top lane feels for people, like, I think that the problem with that, and that's more just a reality of the role rather than anything else, right? Like, um, that's more of a problem of just how top lane works and how top lane champions work, because it is such a counter-oriented role. Um, I mean, this sort of situation is just devastating if you're on the receiving end of the counter pick, right? Because it feels like there's just nothing that Dawn Fate can do substantially other than like hoping that King of Spades gets over aggressive and you can get a good punish. Looks
Yeah, I
like
mean that top play. Sorry for cutting you off, but yeah, that top play where he almost got that kill back. Right, it was like a flash away from King of Spades' Darius. Right, if he managed to get the silence and the feast maybe at the right time while the Darius is underturned, maybe you have a chance. But you know the raw power of just being like 3 levels up permanently on your laner is just such a big hill to get over.
yeah, I mean, but like that's just how it is. You know, you just have to grit your teeth and bear through it, right? But I do believe the support reconnected, so should be able to get back into game shortly. Yeah, there we are.
Boom, there we go. Yeah, map state looking pretty dire. 7k gold down. Like we said, Chaotic taking about 40% of his HP from one laser. Looking pretty painful as this, yeah, Victor, I think JDK is going for that Shadow Flame second item. Has the large rod, has the alternator. Just going to, yeah, just rip through everyone on the side of Flannel because there isn't a lot of magic resist being built for that team.
Yeah, I mean it's just a painful reality of um, just being able to have so much access to pen, right?
Oh, can they
Oh,
do this? The knockup hits. Dawnfei gets it. Lacuna jumps in. The silence as well. The 3 talent strike into the knockup. King of Spades didn't hit the hammer or the decimate on anyone for the healing. And Flying Squirrel jumps in with the ultimate. It's a shutdown for the side of Dawnfei. I mean, ideally that would go over to your AD carry, but they'll take it where they can get it. That's a pretty big injection of gold over to the Cho'Gath. Maybe can make a difference with this solo time on the top wave and the top turret.
yeah, I mean, like it's a good play for the side of Flannel, but I gotta say here, like off of that choice, like off of that kill, I would have just hard forced Baron. Like you see Beg and Victor at minimum in the bottom lane, you know Ashe is in mid lane. You have 4 members of your team and Cho'Gath ultimate and Smite. Like that should just be a call of like, hey, we got the pick on Darius. We see the vast majority of their team on the map, and we have the advantage. We should just force Baron right now, and they elect to not do that. They end up losing a turret in the bottom lane because they can't they can't easily defend either. And so Flannel, like they got the pick, yeah, but they had a golden opportunity to get Baron and push a little bit more, get a lot more out of it. And that might have been a way back into the game for them, but they kind of just let the door close.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if they manage to get the bear in there, that'd be a pretty big gold swing and keep the waves at bay. But they're going for a repeat play on King of Spades. Doesn't have the flash up, does have the ghost as King of Spades goes aggressive, dodges the rupture, but gets silenced. The tidal wave not hitting anything. Sunset Diner wasting a key summoner spell, or I mean ultimate, but now Flying Squirrel pops the ulti, trying to run him down. Lacuna flashes for the 3 talent strike, gets it. The huge damage is coming out from everyone. It's a 5-man play. Chaotic flips them in, and Lacuna finishes them off as it's going to be another kill on King of Spades. Oh, and it looks like they're going for the Baron, but Beg is right there. Can they catch the Trundle? The warning bells are called as multiple members are moving towards this Baron. It is going down decently fast from the Yunara Talia, but I think that damage is all they're going to do to it because they don't want to take this fight, as Baron is just a much more dangerous objective to take now as you get shredded down a lot more this season. So a good play, but like you said, I think that timing for the Baron was that last play true, and now, you know, them trying to do it again off of that pick means that they are going to lose this dragon for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just painful to see the Baron attempt at that point when, like, yes, you see Victor, and yes, you see Ashe and Seraphine, but this time around you don't see where Trundle is, and that probably means that Trundle is closer than you might think, and yeah, that's exactly the case. Beg ends up showing up in River, they call out the Baron is happening, and at that point, you know, there's not a single thing that Flannel can do. They can't commit for the Baron anymore, and they have to pull off of it. End up losing out to set up on the Dragon as well. So yeah, Flannel, like their one card to hope to play
Oh, and Crystal
is
Arrow lands
huge
on the
arrow.
Lacuna. King of Spades drags 2 in with the Apprehend, but he's now taking a lot of damage. Misses the Decimate for the heal. Now Zig is here with the backup. Beg running him down with that Deadman's Plate, and Dawn Fate is just very sad. Cho'Gath goes down instantly.
Oh
Flying
man,
Squirtle almost, oh, actually, he just dies straight up to the Blackfire Torch in what was an attempted 1v1 against JDK's Victor, and that was all around Baron Pit, and you know what that means. That's going to be freebie Baron for the side of DA, saying that, you know, they see the free kills near the pit. The next thing you got to go for is the objective itself as Lacuna and Sunset Diner. Can they get in range for possible steal? This would be a desperation play, but at this point, 8k gold down. You need the desperation to win it. They're not going to attempt it because King of Spades is playing the guard dog. They can't get in. It's going to be just an easy Baron. 5 members have it. And yeah, it's looking dangerous for the side of Flannel.
yeah, I mean Flannel, like our expectations. Our expectations were certainly that, you know, like after game number 1, you think, okay, well, you know, they look super healthy. Like it looks like they can, you know, hard to close things out. But with this one, you know, DA on like firing on all cylinders, got kind of woke up after game 1, or however you want to call it, game 1 scrim. Like they seem to be much more on point. They're not really letting anything slip away from them. Is the other thing. Like they've not given up a hard opportunity outside of that one pick on King of Spades potentially being a jungle or a Baron opportunity. But even then, like Flannel just doesn't have much they can play around.
Absolutely, it's looking so dangerous on the map. Bag gets a Pillar of Ice on Lacuna. Just likely going to run him down. Lacuna trying to take this fight. Can't really get it, though. Chaotic drops the Unraveled Earth as kind of a stalling mechanism. Does get his jungler out, but Lacuna had to pop the ulti for that. And yeah, Bag's just happy to run around and waste, you know, keys combat spells for the side of Flannel. And just look at this. It's just a repeat of minute 2 because King of Spades is taking over top lane, gets the tier 2 turret, no problem, as Bag, Magnum Buck, JDK, and Zig are just breaking down this mid lane. Top lane play going for it. I'm not sure if Lacuna can get this, though. Oh, my screen's a little bit sus, but yeah, I'm not sure what's happening on your screen, Shrew, but maybe you can take us through what's just happening top.
Well, I mean, right now, DA is forcing down mid lane. They found a nice Enchanted Crystal Arrow. And, yeah, like that, this should wrap it up. And I think we're actually going to be able to see it just about now, but ooh.
Oh yeah, just an easy Enchanted Crystal Arrow into the Encore, into the huge Arcane Storm, just taking over the team fight. Zig having an amazing game compared to the game 1 today. As we see, yeah, Dawn Fate just has to go down one more time. Insult added to injury, and what was a complete reversal of game 1. It is Divine Ascension firing back on all cylinders. They are angry, they want revenge, and they're going to take us to game 3 in what was pretty much just the exact same speed of game 1. They're going to end it just around 26 minutes. It felt like this was not a cry, it was a whimper from Flannel. Hopefully they can bring it back in game 3. All the marbles coming up in this next game as the Nexus explodes the night.
Yep, and we are out here on the Rift once more. With both teams deploying into a rather, I'll say, standard as it is now for the game, but nothing too surprising in terms of like our early setups here. Gentle has Glacial, Sona has. I mean, maybe Flying Squirrel having first strike, but because you're into Janna and Kaisa, you should still have range advantage as FF here. Like, I will say, like, one big difference we're going to see this game, as opposed to the previous ones, we are not going to see as aggressive top lanes, right? Like, this is Poppy Ornn, you know, this is not Darius Cho'Gath or Mordekaiser or Mundo. Like, this is a wet noodle fight for wet noodle fights. Like, these guys are just going to slap each other for their grass procs, say thank you, and then go back to farming, and then, you know, rinse and repeat every single time.
Honestly, I think the wet noodle fight, though, does go in favor of Dawn Fate, because in both games he was kind of on the receiving end of that beatdown. So I think them not having kill pressure on each other kind of equalizes, makes it a lot easier for Dawn Fate to play the game. Ooh, a huge double up, chunking out Magnum Buck as the bot lane hits that level 2 advantage. Dawn Fate and King of Spades, we said it's a wet noodle fight, but we said, you know, these noodles might be a bit more dangerous than we thought, because Dawn Fate and King of Spades taken both significantly lower than we expected in this early. The Buckler traded with that volcanic pillar. It's gonna be, maybe King of Spades looking for a flash knockup once he gets level 3 for the solo kill. We've seen him play before. I think he'll go for something that crazy again.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a possibility. I mean, like, King of Spades, the other thing that made him hard lose the trade there was missing the Bellows Breath, so you don't get a Brittle proc to be had onto Dawn Fate. And I will say, like, the Wet Noodle fight, I certainly get what you mean. Oh,
Knockup
that's
canceled. You
bad
got
for
the
King of
2
Spades.
parts of the Hammer Shock. Dawn Fate now running down Heroic Charge into the Flash. King of Spades actually flashed, but it got canceled by the Heroic Charge. Flash follow. Dawn Fate, one more auto. Solo Bolo, first blood. He says, I need revenge for the past 2 games. And he gets a solo kill. Poppy versus Ornn. What a start to this game. But now we might see another solo kill. Orianna walking him down with the Clockwork Windup. But the command attack goes short as Chaotic gets the level up. He does have pretty high stacks on the lethal tempo, but I don't think he's going to go for it. I think if JDK stood in the soldiers a little bit longer, that could have been Chaotic getting the kill, as Orianna's looking forward for that command attack. Won't get anything, but damn, solo lanes again looking for blood in this game 3.
Yeah, I mean, and I'd imagine for Dawn Fate that feels so cathartic, right? Especially after the previous 2 games of you just constantly getting pressured. Like, even in game number 1, even when you won, you were on the receiving end of a lot of pressure, a lot of damage. Game number 2, you were kind of completely left alone and told to just suffer. So yeah, I'm sure that Dawn Fate feels great after being able to get that kill. The thing that works out so nicely for Poppy is having that buckler, that shield. I think it's something like 15% max HP, which is more than meaningful this early on, and that does allow you to trade reasonably well into the Ornn, even when trading Brittle procs. So yeah, nice little play for Dawn Fate right there, and as you can see, like, the guy's going to continue pushing that advantage, like, make use of that early gold. Both top laners TP'd back to lane, and obviously Dawn Fate with that longsword should be able to trade a little bit better into the Ornn. The Ornn can.
Yeah, King of Spades down a little bit in XP, but Dawn Fate playing very aggressively. The Brittle proc, like you said, I'm again missing. Dawn Fate is actually spacing King of Spades out very effectively. King of Spades already using the potion. Dawn Fate getting actually a really great buy. The tier and the longsword and a refillable pot means he's going to be up in econ, even though King of Spades has that living forge. But now the gank coming in from bag. Dawn Fate cancels the searing charge with the steadfast presence. Just unplayable for King of Spades if he wants an engage for him. As we see bottom lane just kind of trading blows. Big chunk from the double up from Flying Squirtle, but he's pretty low on mana from spamming the Make It Rain. But now Lacuna looking for this mid lane gank, jumps on top of Orianna. JDK taking low, but now King of Spades going back for the counter gank as we see Beg chunking out Dawn Fate. Dawn Fate is so tanky from the W pass, but he gets the kill from the Hammer Shock. He's level 6. Champion sends him flying. Beg cannot get the successful gank. It is a 2v1 escape. Call him Bouse because Dawn Fate just made him look silly. 2-0, showing us that he is not someone to be messed with, even after a pretty bad first 2 games.
Oh man, that is rough. Like that is, you look at that situation and if you are King of Spades and you are Beg in that situation, that is so embarrassing. Like, not only dying, but in addition to that, oh dear, Beg.
The flash follow. Beg actually taking so much tower damage. He's so low. The flash over the shockwave. One more Sand Soldier into the command. As Chaotic now gets him low, but Dawn Fate's here for the tee up. He just gets one more buckler. The flash secure from Lacuna. I don't think he needed to do that, but the kill is thankfully donated over to the Shyvana, who already secured that first dragon. First dragon plus a kill onto the Shyvana. He's going AD, so he's going to hit his power spike much earlier than the AP variant. Very great start for the side of Flannel as we see the engage going in. The Forge God gets canceled by the wall tackle, taken very low still. Dawn Fate is getting chunked out, but I don't think he's going to die here. King of Spades gets a really big chunk with the use of the ulti, but I don't think he has kill pressure because Dawn Fate is just so damn tanky with these items.
Oh, that was so consistently
Lacuna now looking for the gank. Brittle proc hits, but the cancel on the searing charge. Hammer Shock does big damage. Lacuna now drops the ulti. There's no flash. Drops the flame breath and into another kill. Lacuna is what we said was a late game champion, but damn, he's making it look really good early. 2 early kills picked up for Shyvana, plus the dragon for that passive bonus means he is in a great position to carry this game.
Like this is really bad for DA, right? Like, the champion who's supposed to be your consistent frontline, this Ornn is now 0-3. Like, at the very least, one full level down in terms of XP. Like, the other thing that's kind of like perplexing me a little bit here is rushing the Bramble Vest. I don't think that Poppy is healing so much from Grasp that like Bramble Vest feels like a good investment at this point. Like it's just a little bit confusing to me to see that's what King of Spades is like. Yes, this is a good like first component item to buy, but like even thinking about how things went in mid lane, like this is just going from bad to worse for DA. Like not getting a single positive early play down, and they're the ones who are over like 1,000 gold behind at this point in time. Like Beg is looking to set up a gank here, but is going to get spotted out on a ward, and so like DA, they're just once again not able to pull off a
Oh, but Meg's still going for it. Tries to flag and drag, but the bullet time dropped. Lacuna is in position. Crescendo hits onto Beg. Beg taken low. Drops the Cataclysm, trying to knock down Flying Squirrel, but he's getting so much healing from Sunset Diner. Jumps in with the Killer Instinct. Zig cannot finish the kill. It's the healing from Sunset Diner. They finally get the kill on Sunset Diner, but now Zig finally trades it back. He doesn't actually. It's Flying Squirrel just living by the bare skin of his ass, as it's going to be Lacuna picking up another kill in the bottom lane. This late game scaling comp is looking so good, as we see Magnum Buck trying to look for the kill, misses the tornado. Can Lacuna catch up? Flying Squirrel, can he drop the Make It Rain? I don't think he's fast enough. Magnum buff. Oh, he actually does. Barely has enough mana. Lacuna jumps out of the dragon form. Can he get the kill off this continued gank? He cannot, but still, it is purely positive for the side of Flannel Equinox on this bottom lane. First item completed. So much money in the hands of Lacuna. He's got to be able to have a good buy now, as Magnum Buck still looking for Flying Squirtle. Can't get much, but damn, that is a full Spear of Shojin completed for Lacuna. Yomu's completed for Flying Squirtle, and it's just looking all up for the side of Flannel Equinox.
Oh my goodness. I mean, like watching this series of events happen for DA is just so tragic, because like, yes, you know, your team is the one that's enabled to make plays earlier on, but like it feels desperate more than anything else right now. This doesn't feel coordinated. This feels like
going for the grubs. He got one, but gets stunned into the wall. Can he flag and drag out? The knockup goes up. He is not going to get out of this. Lacuna picks up another kill. Twin Bite chomps him down. It is going to be 2 grubs for the side of DA, but now with the nerfs to the Void grubs in this season, it's not going to be that good. So trading your life over to this already very fed Shyvana, I think that's going to cause more problems than good, to be honest. As we see Wet Noodle fight continuing top lane. King of Spades honestly getting the better of the trades right now, but yeah, it's just going to be very difficult. He drops, Call of the Forge God, hits the knockup, but gets grounded, gets the Brittle proc. Can he get the solo kill? One more Brittle clock into the flash is the shutdown, as we see the gank onto mid lane. The shockwave is good, keeps them at bay. Chaotic and Oriana, JDK, sorry, both getting the quest, but now he's getting a bit too aggro. Lacuna still in position. Chaotic, can he get out? He walks back in for the autos, is going to trade his life for the kill for Lacuna. As we see in the bot lane, it's just obliteration as Zig goes down. Magnum Buck goes down earlier, as it's the bullet time that rips through the dreams of DA, and there's nothing left but money for Flying Squirtle. He just dropped the hydro pump on them and left, as he is rich with this item, with these likely plates, and with this wave, as it's going to be Dragon also picked up for free on the side of Flannel. A second drag over to this Shyvana. The scaling is already happening because that is a 5-0 Dragon. Oh, yeah, right, 2 TPs going in. Chaotic looking to protect this. TP coming in from the Poppy as well. The shuffle goes in on JDK's Oriana, who has to flash out. King of Spades investing TP2. It's just a 5-man gong show in this bottom river for a Dragon that's already dead. So far, you know, shout out to King of Spades for finding the solo kill. Now Sunset Diner getting singled out. I don't think he's going to die, though. No chase tools available for the bot lane. So Dawn Fate and King of Spades just going to waste their TPs, walk back up to top. And yeah, it's looking even more dire for the side of DA.
Yeah, I mean, like, DA, like, yes, you have, like, this one silver lining that King of Spades finally able to get a solo kill for himself in the top lane, and then, at the very least, JDK trades even in the mid lane. Like, obviously, like, just throws himself in for the 1-for-1, knows that Lacuna's still in the area, knows that probably going to die for this choice. But otherwise, like, things are just not at all good for the rest of the team, especially with this bot lane. Like, you look at this MF 3-0-1, as opposed to Kaisa, who does have a kill, but has also died twice.
Oh,
and it's
wait.
just so frustrating for
The long
DA.
wraparound gank as Flying Squirrel doesn't have flash, gonna get jumped on, dodges the flag and drag, but he's just going to die here. Likely they get a kill onto Magnum Buck, but the barrier's not enough to keep Flying Squirtle alive. The heal not enough from Sunset Diner, and the Dragon Strike, the shutdown goes over to the J4. Unfortunately, it does not go over to Zig, who probably could have used that money, but still, that is a key shutdown on the Misfortune. Oh,
Yeah,
trading heavily in the mid lane. Chaotic just stabbing him with the soldiers. As JDK drops the shockwave, Chaotic does have flash, Orianna does not. It's pretty tense in this mid lane. Anybody's full combo will get the kill as they're both 25% HP. The role quest activated. Oh, Dawn Fate getting jumped on again here. King of Spades is actually doing really well in this matchup for being down, 2 kills. He's out farming and out trading so far on Dawn Fate.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is that eventually Ornn just, like, becomes so much progressively tankier, and that's the other part of it. Like, I did question the, oh, wait, Dawn Fate getting a little bit of trouble.
Multi-channeled, but a nice Keeper's Verdict sends him out before he gets that last proc, so King of Spades trading ultis. Dawn Fate is kind of on the back foot, though, not farming as well as you'd hoped. Almost at that first item, but, the Sundered Sky is not going to be very good into the Ramble Vest, so I guess that is a pretty good investment from King of Spades, as you see. Maybe a dive being set up for this bottom lane. Flying Squirrel cashing in on a play. Dawn Fate did not go back. Does not have the TP. Likely going to die here. Gets the stop on the flag and drag, but it's just going to be a free, easy kill from Beg as he smites him down, and Plate's being taken top. But now on the bottom side, the reverse happens. A dive on the bottom lane. Bullet time rips through Zig as this Kaisa is so damn sad. The flash over. Flying Squirrel just blasts him with the double up. Double kill. Double up. Double the money for Flying Squirtle. Damn, he must have the amulet coin equipped because this guy is rich as he's just taken Plates in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, this bot lane is just so frustrating for DA right now because there's really not a thing that they can do against how strong this MF is at this point. Like, this is kind of also why I was highlighting you want another, like, frontlining or a tank support like a Maokai to at least generate some
gank in the mid lane, the flash shuffle onto the Orianna. The shockwave is good, hits 2. The stabs go out. Can Lacuna get one more fireball for the kill? And that lands it easy money as it's going to be a GG. Nice gank as Beg looking for the return kill. Can he get it? Lacuna's running him down. Jumps on him with the Cataclysm, but the slam into the wall. Beg gets turn kill, but the shutdown goes over to Lacuna for more money. Dawn of Fate realizes that, yeah, I can't take top lane anymore. I might as well roam and make chaos for the team. So nice play from them, just knowing that they're more useful on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it's so frustrating for DA to be in this spot because, like, we knew that the one avenue for the side of what do you call it, for Flannel that should be consistently powerful would be this MF, because MF is just really, really strong right now. But then the other thing was, like, this X factor of the Shyvana for Lacuna, and, like, you do have the Shyvana get so far ahead, and that is going to facilitate your solo lanes, and that's exactly what's been happening. But in addition to that, also facilitates the MF, so DA is just struggling across all fronts. And you can see, like, they're contending with this AP Shyvana that is 7-0 and 3, and then you look across and compare that with the J4 that's 84 CS, 3-4 and 1. It's a tough spot to be in, but top lane Flying Squirrel might be in a bit of trouble.
King of Spades looking for the solo kill. He gets it, cancels the bullet time, and a solo kill over to King of Spades. No shutdown money, unfortunately, but that is valuable gold in the pockets of the best performing player right now on Divine Ascension. A bit of an overextension from Flying Squirrel. He'll have to think about that next time as Lacuna looking for the mid lane. Sunset Diner looking for the ulti likely. The zoning from the Jan, a good chunk out of the Orianna. Lacuna? Is he just looking for a fight here? It's 4v3. I don't know if they want to take this, but they are posturing aggressively. Herald Charge goes in, does some damage. Nobody gets the plate money, so it's just kind of posturing over this third dragon.
Yeah, I think they're also trying to stall out to wait for MF, right? Because with MF going down, you need time. But MF is back, the redeploying, TPs are through, so it's pure 5v5 here, Kevin.
Yep. 2 TPs dropped 5v5 stare in the bottom lane river over third dragon. They really don't want to give this up. It is soul point. Bullet time is not available. Neither is called the Fort God. Two big ultis not here. Chaotic has the shuffle if he needs it. But like we said, there's no engage for this team of DA. Can Lacuna get in for the steal? Dawn Fate rushes in, gets a huge chunk, gets a kill already on Magnum Buck. There's one player already down. Dawn Fate causing chaos. The ulti drop stolen by the MF of all people. Now Chaotic jumps in with the shuffle, with the slide. Lacuna gets another one, goes legendary as Dawn Fate runs it in. Dies for his team though, as Zig's the only one left standing and is chomped to pieces by the dragon. Third dragon soul point over to Flannel. Money over to this Shyvana at 9-0. And it is just cash money for both the bottom lane, the jungler, for everyone on Flannel as they take that team fight. 5 for 1. It's just Dawn Fate knowing, hey, I gotta run in and die for my team to win. I'll take that trade every day of the week.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier about how, the Sundered Sky doesn't do anything against the Ornn, but it is still meaningful against literally everyone else. And Dawn Fate finds the angle, just forces hard onto Magnum Buck. No one able to keep the Janna alive. They get that quick kill, and things just fall to pieces for DA in that fight. Because Dawn Fate, their frontliner, is overextended, like the J4 not in a great position either. The MF is actually the one who ends up getting the dragon, quite funnily enough, but really this just another indicator that DA, like, struggling so hard. And similar to game number 1, Lacuna does now have a Magi Soul Stealer in the inventory. So DA, they have to stop the bleeding somehow. They have to stop it soon.
Okay, Wet Noodle fight. It's actually 2-level lead for King of Spades. He's very strong here, but just gets slowed down by the Hammer Shock. I think Dawn Fate's probably fine if he just walks this out, but King of Spades going for it. Actually canceled the Keeper's Verdict. Now Dawn Fate getting ganked by Beg. Gets this charge in, but getting the, Steadfast Presence. Cataclysm gets dropped down. Beg trying to fight this. It's a 3v1. I think it's just going to be a free B for the side of Divine Ascension, as Beg's just going to take that kill. Dawn Fate maybe just pushing up a little bit too far by themselves.
Yeah, and I feel like we had this conversation in game number 1. It's great to kill the enemy top laner, but at the end of the day, it's also not particularly meaningful. And that's the problem that DA has to contend with. Sure, you kill Dawn Fate, but you haven't pushed down mid lane outer turret, you haven't pushed down bot lane outer turret. The MF is still a huge problem. Your Kaisa still needs at least an item and a half more to feel relevant. So there's a lot that DA needs. And quite ironically, it feels like DA, they're the ones who are well, now we need time to scale. We need time for Orianna's damage to catch up, for Kaisa's damage to catch up. And if those things don't happen, then I think we're just going to look at another sub 30 game.
Oh, they're looking for Beg. Huge chunk from the double up. King Chaotic going for the slide. Does big damage with just the auto attack and the soldiers. The knock-up thrown out. Flash over the wall. Magnum Buck already. Beg has to flash as well. Lacuna drops the fireball, chunking out Beg very low, but multiple ultis used. Shockwave is good onto 2, but they can't follow up. It's just JDK against the world at this point. King of Spades just finally makes it to the team fight, but everybody burns ultis, but it is just DA burning multiple flashes to just get out of that situation unscathed.
I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, staying alive is an important thing to do. JDK throwing out Shockwave there, I think, is just to slow / stop up the aggression. But now Baron is on the table, and I honestly feel like DA, if they were forced into a situation where they have to contend with Flannel, hard forcing and starting it, they are going to be pretty hard pressed unless Flannel is tanking up the Baron for an extremely long amount of time.
Oh, Chaotic just gets the solo kill. I think JDK overestimated how fast he was with that phase rush, with that dissonance. He just walks within the soldier stabbing range, and that's just a freebie solo kill. Likely going to be the Shadow Flame completed for Chaotic's Azir. That's a big 2-item power spike as we see everyone hitting a huge spike. Like you said, Magi's, for Lacuna. Big money for Chaotic with that tier 2. And now it's going to be a minute before Dragon, I think. Flying Squirtle will have the Lord Dominic's Regards on base. Yeah, he does. So he's going to shred through the already non-existent armor for the side of DA. He might even start doing damage to this Ornn now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a terrifyingly difficult position that DA find themselves in, right? Yes, you do have the Ornn items to somewhat, stem up the gold difference as time goes on, but, it just feels like DA is tilted / desperate. And speaking of desperation, you can see multiple members of DA on the Baron, although Flannel, they're already pinging it out. They know, okay, like these guys from DA, they're missing, like what's going on. And so DA, seeing Flannel respond, they have to pull off of it.
And the thing is, without the Kaisa, they don't have much damage. As we see the engage, Beg looking for Sunset Diner. Sunset Diner flashes, Call of the Forge God goes wide. The turret, the Sun Disc, Chaotic has it in the mid lane to protect his team. But now the Dragon being activated. As we see Chaotic flashes out, uses the Divine... Sorry, oh my god, a huge bullet time just completely kills 2 already. Zig now in a 1v1 with Dawn Fate. As we see Chaotic 1v1ing on the other side. JDK again, the huge slam to send Zig away into the hands of Flying Squirrel. The alley-oop into the double up. What a nice team play as King of Spades getting run down, barrier popped, and it's just the Dragon Soul on the backside. They didn't even need Lacuna for that. He's busy doing his own side quests. Sunset Diner evaded the kills, and then when he led them into his team, it was Flying Squirtle blasting them with the bullet time. Chaotic with the Emperor's Divide. They just killed them so fast, they didn't even have time to say that ability, but damn, Mountain Soul at 22 minutes, Baron Nashor at 23. It's looking like hope is lost for DA unless they have a desperation play here. King of Spades get the TP, huge shield from that, but Baron is very low already, stunned into the wall. They have no smite. It's taken down. Baron over to the side of Flannel as Lacuna's chunking out King of Spades. Everyone's just blasting this guy. He is not a tank. He is just paper as the ulti flies out. Dragon's Descent onto Beg. Beg is begging for his life, but he's not going to get mercy here as the knockup goes out. The flash over from Lacuna. Huge flame breath does big damage as there's 1 kill traded over from JDK's Orianna, but Zig gets run down. Flying Squirtle blasts him with another Hydro Cannon at this point with 3 items, and it's just absolute domination from the side of Flannel Esports in this 3rd game. Likely just the Baron Wave in bot taking over. GG, no re for this team in what is going to be the fastest game somehow in this series.
Well, I did say, Kevin, that I have a feeling that this game is either going to be a stomp one way or another. Like, it certainly didn't pan out how I expected it to. But, like, with DA making so many early game mistakes, I mean, like, they're going to redeploy. It's still early on.
Yeah, they're going to take this fight. The turret is still not dead. They're tanking it. Lacuna's tanking it. Guys, just take the turret. He actually goes down. The Killer Instinct. This might be a throw. Huge Keeper's Verdict sends out 2. Sunset Diner leaves this guy to die as it's going to be Dawn Fate dying again. I was mistaken. I thought they had the game end there, but nobody wanted to hit the turret for some reason. Flying Squirrel does have the bullet time available, so if he gets a full channel of that, that's going to kill them. Chaotic has the TP, big damage with 2.5 items. Bag's just trying to run forward and get something. He's looking desperate. As, wow, I'm surprised that the game didn't end there, so I guess it'll go a little bit longer, but I don't think it's going to be for very long, True.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly seemed that Flannel, like, they bit off a bit more than they can chew, and they didn't have a unified call on that second inhibitor turret. Like, it felt like some of them wanted to take the fight, the other ones wanted to finish the turret, so they end up finishing the turret, but by the time that happens, they have kind of lost the disengage. So some shutdowns go into DA's pocket, but they're still at a definitive, like almost a 14k gold deficit. So, or sorry, almost a 13k gold deficit. So I don't think Flannel are profoundly worried about the situation, the state of things. If anything, I would say that, like, if I'm Flannel here, I would like to just end the game within the next, let's say, 3 minutes, rather than open up the possibility of us throwing an Elder. Like,
yeah. I mean, I agree. You don't want to give it to a 50-50 Elder flip. Honestly, just walk it in, click bullet time on, like, any target, and they just instantly die, right? Chaotic can sweep in anyone. He's tanky enough with the help of the Sona to, survive, and Dawn Fate can cause so much chaos in the backline. If they just find one angle on literally anyone, I think it's GG. But maybe we can see, like, a Miracle Jarvan Orianna combo. I mean, the Baron's still up, taking big damage on the top side. Flannel playing, a little bit respectful, which is good. But, you don't have to play with that much respect. You guys have a 13k gold lead. You could end it if you wanted right now. Oh, Lacuna, but walking into the Jarvan, into King of Spades on the Ornn, drops the ultimate, so that's a key spell not available for the next fight. So yeah, just a good force out of that Shyvana ulti, but not much more that DA can get from that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the real question is just, can Shyvana find enough things to hit so she has enough fury for the Dex Dragon? I think a 2-minute time period should be sufficient for that. Otherwise, like, Flannel is, yeah, like, I feel like, you have bot lane auto pushing. You just need someone to, like, defend and usher in mid lane and top lane, and they shouldn't be. I don't want to say this like
Crescendo
dilly-dallying,
hits into the bullet time. Oh my god, Flying Squirrel just blasts him. Hydro Cannon, I don't even know if there's another Pokemon move that's stronger than that, but he just instantly evaporates 2 members from DA. I just thought that's what was going to happen at that inhib about 3 minutes ago, but they want to play it out. Oh my god, it's just disgusting. Chaotic rips Magnum Buck to shreds with the Azir soldiers. We said late game scaling is in favor of this team with the Azir, and yeah, it's showing right now as he hits about 3 items, I believe. So it's the final push into the base, multiple inhibs down. Chaotic just, solo pushing top for a little bit more gold to pad the stats as they're ushering this last wave in. King of Spades pops the Call of the Forge God, who's going to drop it on. Can't even get it off as the nice cancel from the Poppy. Wall slam in. Lacuna taking the turret. Flying Squirrel just blasting. Can't even kill the Ornn due to this tanky guy, but it doesn't really matter as the turret goes down faster. Beg looking for a play, looking for the flag and drag. Lacuna has the ulti back up. It's just a matter of fact of ushering in these double super minion waves. I think they're just going to wait and go for Elder. Okay, they're just going to go for Elder, not end the game here. They just really want Divine Ascension to Field of Despair, I guess.
Yeah, this opens up the possibility of an Elder going over to DA. And, is that a high possibility? No, not exactly. I'd say it's still profoundly low, especially considering that Flannel are now at just short of a 15k gold lead. But I really think that Flannel didn't have to be in this position here, and they've been playing a little bit too slowly.
Oh, Lacuna just drops the ulti, one tap on Magnum Buck, barely. Flashes to follow, a nice cancel with that Tornado, but now the TP coming in from Dawn Fate. It's going to channel in time. Can he get a wall slam on anyone? Pops the Steadfast Present for the movement speed. They're running so fast. That huge fireball into the nice knockup. Keeper's Verdict hits onto 2. Now Magnum Buck doing his best to peel for his team. They're just getting run down. The fireball hits onto JDK. Lacuna taken low, actually. Zig is free firing. Call of the Forge God goes out, but a huge double bite onto the backline. Zig gets the kill, gets the shutdown, but now Flying Squirtle walks in, flashes for 2 autos, kills the entire backline. Bullet time, full channel onto the Ornn, not even needed. They're just stunting on him at this point. Triple kill for Flying Squirtle. It's just total domination from minute 5 onwards as Flannel are going to take game 3 in a spectacular fashion, taking literally everything on the map before ending the game.